Last question's a bit of a biter, but
Okay.
it comes with no judgment at all.
I'm still. The weird thing is, I'm still not okay with even killing them at all. I was looking at cows the other day; they were in the thing, and I was like, I could see in their eyes, and I'm always like this with any animal.
So even saying it's not very nice, is it? To
Is
hear?
that what they do even with the ones on these farms? Don't. I
Yeah.
can't
Okay.
handle
There you
that.
go. Hello. How are you?
Good, thanks. You?
Well, thanks. What made you approach me for the sign?
Just thought it looked interesting.
Cool.
And like talking to people about random stuff.
Awesome. Yeah, you're happy to be filmed, yeah? I've just got a little camera
okay,
there.
yeah.
Yeah, it's all good? Cool.
Okay.
So, it's...
Oh. Okay.
don't be shy, honestly, I don't bite.
Because of animals.
Yeah, so, first question is, what do you think of animals?
I absolutely love them.
Awesome. Same.
Yeah.
Any animals come to mind in particular? Or
Cats.
you got a cat?
I love cats. No, I don't have one, but I'd like. Well, I don't have a garden, so I'm a bit like,
Yeah.
toying with getting an indoor one, but yeah. What other animals do I like? I don't know.
Can you think of any interactions that come to mind with animals that you've had in the past? Maybe not pets or
Like goats and
yeah,
horses.
yeah. When did you last see a goat or a horse?
When I took my child to an animal day thing, like an animal, like a day out thing, animals and stuff.
Cool, nice.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. No. Well. Yeah. I love animals too. So.
Yeah.
First question out of the way. That's great to hear. Share that. Second question is, what do you think of those that are cruel to animals with their behaviours?
I mean, it's just awful, isn't it? I'm following something on Instagram at the moment about these beagles that are being kept in
That's
a
in
camp.
the UK, I know. Yeah.
And following
3,000
that
of them, I think.
quite closely about the guys that are waiting outside all the time,
Yeah.
and they're just like, what's going on,
Yeah. There's a permanent camp there. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so I mean, there's no. They're like not in tune with. It's like they just don't see don't have that humane, whatever it is, to see that it's cruel. They just don't see it. Some people don't. Some people are cruel to people.
Yes.
Children,
Yeah.
even.
Yeah.
And it's like there's something that's like. I'm not saying they're all psychopaths, but there's something that's just
There's
not there.
There's not empathy.
They don't
is there?
have. Yeah.
And then if you
Basically.
don't, and usually those who don't have empathy for other humans lack the empathy for animals too. It's not always the
Exactly.
case. You'd be surprised, but yeah, mostly it's about empathy. And so when we look at a dog or a cat, or I'm sure most people in the UK, for instance, we see not just an animal, but like a friend, don't we?
Yeah.
Our best friend that's always
Yeah.
excited to see
Little
us.
soul, you see something.
Exactly,
it's not
like
just-
they've got an experience of life. And yeah, so in terms of cruelty, I mean, do you any definition that might come to mind when you think of being cruel to animals or animal abuse?
Just people that are like keeping animals and they're keeping them in really bad conditions.
Yeah.
People like pet owners, maybe like into these programs. They've been kept in like their feces. It's just obviously not being looked after. The person thinks it's fine to just leave them all bundled in,
Yeah.
not being cleaned, not taking care of them.
No, I think that's fair. So
That's one example.
mental or physical harm, we can sum it up with, yeah.
Yeah.
Because you can also like traumatize animals as well, where they're permanently scarred from abuse,
Exactly,
or like
yeah.
and confined for a long time, so they'll do circles
does,
and stuff like
yeah.
this. You see this with zoo animals especially.
Yeah,
And
that's-
the last question's a bit of a biter, but
Okay.
it comes with no judgment at all.
Okay.
It's what about the animals that we sent to a slaughterhouse
Yeah.
for the
I thought it
meat,
was
dairy,
something
and
to
egg
do with this.
industry?
Yeah.
And it's not
No, I do
announced-
agree, and I think this is just my honest thing where I'm at the moment, because I sort of went back and forth, and I was confused about about health, and there were certain reasons why I started going back into meat eating, because I was like needing this red meat. Apparently, I
Iron,
don't
I
exactly
presume?
know what's true. And for gut healing and just gut healing stuff I was doing. So I started buying meat from a butcher's, and I think really if we are going to eat meat, I'm still. The weird thing is, I'm still not okay with even killing them at all. But then I'm like, okay, but we did evolve, and there must be something in it.
Yeah.
But we were just killing them as a sacrifice kind of thing, and it was more of a like, there's a few animals that have had a good life, you know, and they have been sacrificed, but they're not all being kept in these, you know, the way that we have it on the supermarkets. There's no reason for that at all. We shouldn't be mass producing it in the way that we are.
Yeah, well, I mean, the mass production comes from the mass consumption as well, right? So it's worth noting
how much
that.
Of it gets thrown away? I mean, it just looks like there's too much of it on the shelves.
It does look like it, doesn't it? I know what you mean.
Same with all the other products.
I know what you mean. I mean, but,
you know, in the packaging.
But yeah, I mean, it is a completely demand and supply industry. So if we all stopped buying meat, right, just at once, the industry wouldn't like keep going. You know what I mean? So it really is dependent on our money to fund it.
I have started eating it less, you know, and I have stopped buying it from the supermarkets. And if I do buy it, I go to my local butchers, who I like to support because they're local.
Yeah, no, I can see that. Yeah, it makes sense.
To me, and I'm supporting a local business, and also I know where it's come from. It's come from local farms where they're keeping them in a nicer way.
Yeah.
So I'm more happy with that. But
no,
you know,
I think it's probably better. But I just want to go back to something actually you touched on, which was that even though you're buying this meat and you're doing it for, you know, because you think you need it for your health, which is, I think, valid, right? I would obviously, on the side, encourage you to look into that and see what you can do in terms of getting all the things you need from plants. You'd be amazed at the science that's out there.
Yeah.
There's huge, like, the NHS, all dietary bodies and academics. No, they all have a shared stance that you can live healthily and thrive on a vegan diet. And we've got examples like Djokovic and Lewis Hamilton, you know, these professional athletes that can make it work, right?
Okay, yeah.
And so I'd encourage you to look into the fact that it's possible.
Yeah.
But then going back to what you said, I don't think I'm comfortable with eating them at all, though, really.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I don't know. I can't work out my own. I'm a bit of both. It must be. And I'm like that with a lot of things. I see things from, you know, I'm not sure. I'm intrigued by how we evolved as humans and perhaps, you know, and yeah.
No,
I don't know.
Well, if we go back to the first question, because I asked those first two questions to get you thinking about the animals that we really have a friendship with first.
And they're no different, and I get that they shouldn't be any different. I know, and I understand that, and I think about that a lot. So I agree.
It's good to hear. Yeah, because I mean, I'm sure if everyone. No one would be happy with this happening to dogs, right? You know, the slaughterhouses, right?
Exactly.
Because even if they had a good life, if we want to pick an animal that's had the best life, it's a pet animal, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what is can we rationalise killing them for food because they've had a better life than any cow? I tell you,
can't really.
They've had a better life than any cow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and it's so. I was looking at cows the other day. They were in the thing, and I was like, I could see in their eyes, and I'm always like this with any animal. It could be a caterpillar. Did it earlier. I was trying to get this caterpillar across the road. There's a car coming. I'm literally
snails pick them up. I'm sure you did.
And these cows, and I just looked into their eyes, and it was like there was something, you know, I do, and I feel it. So I don't know.
I'm pleased to get agreement out of you. But how much on the side, without like getting really down into the nitty gritty, I get the sense you haven't. Have you talked with vegans before much in this sort of way? Like,
I've been to a couple of like demonstration things and had a chat with them.
Oh, okay, yeah.
There was one in town they did where they had like these masks on, and it was like the anonymous.
The anonymous, they're rarely here, but it is quite powerful.
So obviously I was like, what's this?
Yeah.
It was like, oh my god, probably crying.
Well, I think
probably what, it
think
does
if
make people think.
No, absolutely, and I think one big part of learning and being encouraged to learn. And also being motivated to make any kind of changes in your life comes from watching and learning more about these industries and the horrors that are behind them. For instance, it's not going to be too horrible, but you know, we know the harm that's done for meat on the plate, right? An animal has to go into a slaughterhouse. Cows are bolt gunned in the head. That's a stunning process, and then they're hung upside down and slashed. So even saying it's not very nice, is it? To hear?
Is that what they do even with the ones on these farms where they're kept nicely?
Yeah, that's. I
mean, how else can they do it?
Well,
you know,
you've got
I guess I don't know.
And,
I'm choosing not to think about that part.
No, fair enough. That's what I'm just trying to help people connect with. I guess the reality for the animals, right? Because as much as we try to not imagine what's behind the product, and I was there for 24 years.
I'm all for like, let's get to actually what's going on here.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So,
I agree with that.
So the most humane slaughter, this is all RSPCA assured is what I'm telling you. Cows are bolt gunned in the head with a spring-loaded gun, and it knocks them out.
It's not instant.
Well, it knocks them out. Sometimes it doesn't work.
And they have to do
and then
it,
they slash their throat after. I've seen footage.
Is that halal?
Well, no, halal's
again.
when you don't get stunned before, so there's no stunning. So
that's just pure like.
Yeah, kosher is even
Let's
worse.
not even go there right now, guys.
No, that's right. But when it comes to, I changed the moment I saw a dairy cow get slaughtered. Like a dairy cow. No, it was on footage,
video.
but it was local farm, as small scale as it gets, and this dairy cow. And by the way, all dairy cows are slaughtered as well. I learned that only last year. Yeah, they're all slaughtered because as soon as they're not productive, they're like, right, see you later. We got some new ones in.
And it's all hidden.
And
you're right. If people actually could see what's going on, it's like, come on, guys.
I know. Yeah.
But I just don't. I don't know.
Well,
Maybe I would
watched
be
it
okay
and
without it. Maybe
I was
would
like
be.
done. You know, I watched
Yeah.
them get slaughtered, but actually the stunning didn't work. So they were moving while they were cutting the head off.
Oh no, don't.
Yeah,
I can't
okay.
handle
There you go.
But the thing is, so maybe we need better education because I have read a bit into this, and I'm finding that like certain vegans are finding that they've had to go back because basically they were finding that they were like not doing well with their health because perhaps they weren't eating the right things.
There are definitely anecdotes of that
and
for sure.
it's like I'm interested in let's go further into that then. Let's for the people that are with it, but like realistically, okay, what do we do about this diet thing? Can we go a bit more into like what do you actually eat then? Could we go more into detail? Could there be more awareness of that somewhere?
I think there should be more education on that. It should be more in school. Everyone should have better education in how you can be vegan, because for most people it's like, what? How can I just cut out like a third of my diet pretty much and then still be fine? The trick is you do have to find replacements and alternatives to get the same sort of stuff, but it's all possible, but we don't really know that. So
no, but that information's not quite there yet. No, but that information's not quite there yet.
When it comes to like what's happening to the animals, it's always worth remembering what it is like from the victim's perspective, right? Because we can't think of like the consequences of ourselves, which believe me, fortunately they don't exist. We are mostly plant-based in our evolution anyway. And you've got to think about the animal's perspective, and would they be all right if knowing that we can choose something else?
It shouldn't really be happening,
But I think I've probably given you enough information, I think, to maybe just go a bit further and look into it. And I've got a card which just puts it all on one page for you.
Okay, that's great.
And then I really hope you look into it.
Thank you. And I really think it's lovely that you're here doing something and trying to speak about something important. I love that.
Just to point out that for you, so just to explain it, we've got one side which is the victim's perspective.
Okay,
this is a speech with no footage, no like tough footage to see, but a guy speaking passionately, no less.
Okay.
These are documentaries which are a bit harder to watch, but they are true, right?
And it's like what's going on now with the bloody war, the Palestine and everything. It's like, you don't want to see this, but this is actually what's happening, guys.
But
so you need to
we're
see
also
it.
buying it on the shelf as well, is the other fact. So as much as that war is so obviously horrific, right? And we're doing what we can to boycott industries and avoid contributing to that anyway. We're doing protests and everything, right? Most people are buying these products every day off the shelf. So that's the why. And then the other side, we've got environmental and health. And so the health, there's some really good resources there about how you can live vegan.
Yeah.
And a good one-stop shop is Viva. And so, hopefully that there's enough on there, I think, for you to like look into it further.
Okay,
but
thank you.
Thank you so much for your time. What was your name?
Thank you. It's Kirsty.
James.
Nice to meet you.
Lovely to meet you.
Yeah,
thank you very much for your
so much,
time.
and good luck with your stuff, and I'll definitely have a look. Thank you.
Enjoy the football. You watching it?
Is that today?
Yes.
England?
It's at 8 o'clock. Yeah, we're playing.
Oh, I wasn't. I'm actually going to an exhibition down there.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Drum and bass exhibition. Local Bristol guy, Ronnie Size, is an exhibition about the history of drum and bass.
That sounds
so
awesome.
I'm going there, and maybe I'll watch the football.
Maybe, yeah. Have a great evening. Thank you very much. Bye bye.